We welcome to the show Daniel O'Donnell. How's it going?
Very good, Chris. Thanks very much. Nice to talk to you.
You too. So you have a new single out. Don't take the good times for granted. It's actually a duet with David James. What can you tell us about it?
Well, this song, David is a great young guy. He's from Donegal, actually, um, and he is on our local radio. But I've been aware of him for a while, from a singing point of view, and he's been on a show that I do on television here on the Irish channel called Opry with Daniel, and we were to do a show for Highland Radio, our local radio station here. I officially opened or launched the station 30 years ago, well, 31 years ago now. And last March, there was a show planned to celebrate the 30th anniversary. And David and two other Donegal singers were on it. We're all Donegal. And David had spoken to me and said, maybe we'll do a duet. And I said, sure, we will. We'll think on something. But anyway, the show was cancelled or not postponed. It's still to be done, eventually, whenever we get to do these things. So then we were chatting, and David said, would I be interested in recording with him? And I said, yes, if we get a song that, we both like, that suits us, sure, I'd be happy to record. So we were, to and fro with different songs. And then David spoke to Shuni Crampsey, who's a very, very good songwriter here at home, and he wrote the song. He said to David, well, what's in your mind, David? Or what way do you think about things? Well, David said, this is all he told him. He says, well, my family always say, to be patient and, don't, take the good times for granted. And that's all he told him. And Shuni came up with this great song. And when I heard it, I said, David, this is the one for us. So we recorded it eventually during the summer when the lockdown finished. First of all, when the first lockdown ended, we were able to go to a studio and, sing together because, well, we were together, but not right up on top of one another because of the social distancing. But we did it. We did a video for it, and the song got great reaction, and still is. David tells me, he does, as I said, the radio show, and he gets lots of requests for it.
Yeah, I think it's a very good song, and sometimes male duets don't work, but this one does.
Yeah, yes. It's such I think a well written song, and we didn't have any practice, we didn't have any rehearsal before we went to the studio because we couldn't. But we just went to the studio. Both of us kind of knew the song in a way, and off we went, and that's what turned out.
And it's like a lot of great songs. It's got that great hook of "Don't take the good times for granted."
Yes.
I think that's the real hook of the song.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's some great lines in it. Follow your dreams, because if you never dream your dreams, they can never come true. It's just, um, it's just fantastic to be able to write words and that of that kind and make sense of it. Because it's just the gift of a good songwriter, and of course it's written kind of from an older man talking to a younger man, and unfortunately I had to do the part of the older man.
Well, it happens to all of us, doesn't it? So you've also got a new album out. What can you tell us about that? What was the process like of putting that together?
Well, we had the album recorded prior to lockdown, prior to the virus. The only thing that we recorded during lockdown was Remember Me, and I had that recorded as well. But we went on television in Ireland on the Late Late Show to promote a charity called the St. Vincent de Paul, my wife and I, to talk about the charity. And while we were on, I sang 3 different times. And one of the songs I chose to sing was Remember Me, just in memory of those people who had passed away and for their families, I suppose, in a way to pay tribute, and for them to remember their loved ones. And Magella was there, and Magella loves to harmonize. And I said, why don't you harmonize on this with me? And we did it very acoustically, just Magella, myself, Trina, who travels with me as on the band, and two of the musicians. And when we did it, it just sounded so different and so special, and we got a great reaction to it. So we then recorded it again. That way the boys did their bit and sent it to us, and then we went to a local studio at home and recorded the vocals and sent that all to Nigel Wright, who produced the album. And this was my first time to work with Nigel, and I really enjoyed it. It was, I better set myself up if I'm going out. If you're taking clips of it, I'm very late. Nigel was great to work with, you know, and we enjoyed the process of the you know, the whole thing.
So how has the lockdown period, this past year, been for you?
Well, you know, we've been luckier than most. I mean, the first lockdown, we live in Donegal, and you know, we live in a lovely place. The weather was good. We have a garden that we never really went into to do anything. We went into it, but not to do anything. We ended up setting flowers and cutting down old bushes, and we were in the garden every day, and we got lots of things done. And just, I suppose, because we were in a rural part of Ireland, we're able to go out for walks. And so it wasn't as difficult for us as it might have been for a lot of other people, you know, in the first part. And then, you know, as the time went on, you know, the later part was, I didn't find it difficult. I enjoyed the period at home. The first time in 40 years that I had so much time to spend at home. So, you know, we were luckier, I think, than most.
It must have been strange though, because you know all your performances that you normally would have had, and it must have been kind of odd when it just all stopped.
Yeah. I mean, we had so much planned. We were going to New Zealand and Australia last August. Then in October, we had a UK tour. We had Irish dates at the end of September in Killarney, a UK tour in October, America, Branson in November. We had Christmas shows in Dublin in December. And all of that, you know, was just postponed. Now we postponed Killarney, the Irish dates, to August, which are doubtful looking even now as I speak, but we're very hopeful that the English states, the UK, you know, the Scottish, English and Welsh states will happen, and
Right.
The American dates. So we are planning that these tours will happen starting in October in England and Scotland and Wales, and then on to America in November, and then Australia and New Zealand is scheduled for next March 22.
Great. Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah, hopefully you're going to be performing at the Eastbourne Congress on the 1st of October.
That's right.
Must
That's
be
our
looking
first
forward
show.
to it.
That's going to be our first show back. And we love the Congress. I love the Congress. It's a lovely theatre, really nice staff there too. You know, it's strange, not strange, but it's amazing down through the years how the staff in the theatre make the visit very important too, as well as the audience. And I must say, the people in the theatre, I mean, up until a couple of years ago, there was a lady called Anne at the stage door, and she just, you know, she was the first person we met when we arrived, and it was like going home to the Congress. She retired, and the last time I was there, I spoke to her on the phone. She wasn't able to get into the show, but I spoke to her on the phone. But really nice staff, lovely audience, lovely atmosphere. So hopefully that people will have the confidence to come out to shows. The vaccine will have been distributed, and it'll be doing what we expected, and you know, that people will feel comfortable to be together.
Yeah, I think once everybody's vaccinated, I think people definitely want to get out.
What we hope for, because if we cannot, you know, go forward in a normal fashion after the vaccine, then we're goosed, you know.
Have you had yours yet? Or
no, it'll be a while before. Even though I had to take the older part in the song. I'm in the younger part of the vaccine, people.
Swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, yeah. You want to be young sometimes, and then you want to be old other times.
Who are some of the country music artists that you admire yourself?
Well, I love Loretta Lynn. She's my favourite. Loretta Lynn and Charlie Pride, Lord rest Charlie. You know, I was very fortunate that I became friends with both of them, and I still talk to Loretta periodically on the phone every so often. She had a stroke a few years ago and hasn't been able to tour, but she's well. I mean, when I speak to her, I visited her 2 years ago, gone past in November, at her home in Nashville. Just I went down from Branson where we were touring, and I had a few days free, so I drove. Just so because I hadn't seen her for a while. And Charlie, I had done numerous shows with. The most recent one was last year. We did a TV show from our home, Magella and I, my wife and I. And Charlie came on Zoom and guested on it. And he died on the 12th of December on my birthday. And I loved Charlie. I loved him as a person, loved his singing. And we did loads of shows together. Many times we asked him to take part in TV shows with us, and he always did. So a great loss. And then Cliff Richard. I've always loved Cliff. And again, we've very friendly with Cliff. Not maybe, but Cliff more so than any of the Charlie or Loretta. We've got to know better. We spend, periodically time together where we would go to him or he would come to us,
Great. So, well, we're hoping to see you on the 1st of October. Fingers crossed. Let's hope it goes ahead.
Well, please God, and we're looking forward to seeing everybody. And I hope that, by then that we'll be able to breathe a little easier and, feel a bit more safe and confident and comfortable.
Yeah. Great. Thanks for joining us, Daniel.
Thank you, Chris. It's been a pleasure, and good luck with all you're doing. And, radio is so important to people in these times, and well done for keeping it going.
Thank you. Cheers. Thanks, Daniel. See you later.